Back to national defense, we're starting with Greg Jacobs on this question. Please define in your own words, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
The last portion of that phrase says everything. Shall not be infringed. Not, oh, well, we're going to take them away anyway. You don't need them. Wrong. I've been handling weapons since the age of 6. My father taught me, got refined in the military and in law enforcement. So I've been carrying a weapon 90% of my adult life. I can't be serious for too long. No, it's far too important. Right now, in Washington, the Cook County Democrats that we all know don't like weapons are formulating plans to slip something in to take away our weapons, or the right to have a weapon in your home. Shall not be infringed, says it all.
I believe we must continue to protect the constitutional right, allowing us to own legal firearms. But I believe that what we really need to do is we need to focus on the real issue, and that's the criminals who use weapons. That needs to be the focus. And I believe that strong and swift enforcement of those who own illegal guns and who use them illegal, we need to deal with that very, very soon.
I don't own a gun, but I'm glad my neighbors do. This is I live in Switzerland. And Switzerland is one of the safest countries in the world. You may not know this, but in Switzerland, every man from the age of 20 to 40 serves in their military. And inside their homes, they have their guns. That's why it's such a safe country. And if we have that in our country, criminals aren't going to be knocking on their doors.
I am very pro-life, without exception. I wish every state in this country had concealed carry. Two quick stories. I ran for Congress in '96. I ran in a very Democratic district. Part of the fun I had near the end of the campaign was talking to folks and just looking them in the eyes and saying, do you know, if there were more guns on the street right here, this would be a safer neighborhood. And the looks on some of these Democrats' faces, you just wouldn't believe it. It's one of those issues where intrinsically they just can't deal with it. I get in trouble with some of my campaign staff because to me, this is the most important amendment in the Constitution. This is the one that ultimately protects me from my government.
The fundamental question we're dealing with here is the ability for us to protect for our family and for our own. And when we start to question this Constitution, we start to forego that ability to protect ourselves. I, for one, am in favor of the Second Amendment as it is written, not subject to interpretation. I'm also in favor of conceal and carry. If you look at statistically, look at Illinois and Wisconsin, 2 states that don't have it. Take 2 cities, Milwaukee and Chicago. Their crime rates, violent crime rates, are twice as high as Los Angeles and New York. Therefore, you have an excellent case example of why we should be allowed to use this, to follow the Second Amendment without any subject to interpretation.
I don't have a gun, but I have a gun case and a cleaning kit that I won at a raffle at the NRA dinner. I will tell you, it was one of the most patriotic events that I've ever been at. I was impressed by the fact that it is truly, a lot of those people there didn't hunt, they probably just own a case also. They don't hunt, it's about the right. It's about the right. It shouldn't be confused with gun violence, which is a whole different issue. I think that conceal and carry is absolutely fine. Let's face it, the bad guys are concealing and carrying anyway. So, I believe it's absolutely imperative that we preserve the Second Amendment exactly the way it was intended, again, the intention of the Constitution is what's important.
You're up 30 seconds on the mark.
They reverence Jackson and Flager. We all know them. They're the first ones to jump in and say a firearm is evil. They always blame the law-abiding citizens. Firearms